TGIF, everyone. We will get started shortly. While waiting for people to gather, let me tell you about Regime Week. On Monday nights from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, Cerulean Gray discusses political, social, and economics on his channel, Gray Regime. Tuesday night is the 1/3 show with DeAndre at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on his channel, Just DeAndre, where he discusses articles and has a series of particular topics. Wednesday night is a doubleheader. DJ Music's internet radio station, Classic R&B Jams, broadcasts the shows On the Beat and Keep the Beat. On the Beat showtime is 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and hosted by DJ Music along with co-host Char, where they discuss things going on in the news. 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the segment Keep the Beat, hosted with Char and Classic Ruby. They discuss certain songs, tell stories, and take you back down memory lane. There is an interactive chat room with emojis and GIFs. There is also a lot of twerking in that chat room. The show is wild. You do have the opportunity to financially support the channel in order to help it grow. So, in the very least of that matter, please like, share, and subscribe. If you need advice for yourself or a friend, send an email, justaskchar@gmail.com. Thank you, everyone, for joining the show. And now, here's your host, Char.
Greetings, everyone. TGIF, what's going on? How are you? Well, it has been a very interesting week. And that's probably in your personal life. And if it isn't, it has been politically. So either way, it has been a very interesting week. Other than that, hope you all are well, still doing your social distancing, And here in Illinois, they ask people to, well, I don't want to say demand. I am going to keep the word ask, even though it is a demand that the indoor restaurants close. And they are not doing that. They are tired of not having, an income, because that's, their income. They run a business. Customers come in, they eat. They say they are going through every safety measures that is possible. I've seen one clip where a guy, he put in some air ducts. It was three of them in his restaurant, and they each cost $10,000. So he was serious. He said this was, I think it was the same type of conditioning that NASA uses as far as circulating the air and making sure that it is, if it is such thing as germ free. But that guy had invested that money, and he's like, I got to close. I'm following everything. I'm doing all I can. Yeah. But hopefully you guys are staying safe. And I'm not sure what's going to happen, whatever the turnout will be with the presidency. But I would say if you don't have to be outdoors, don't. That's my advice. And look who we have here. The classic Ruby, everybody.
Oh, well, thank you all. Thank you so much for coming. We love you. We love you. Hey, hey. How you doing today, Char? It's a lovely evening. We're always greeted. I love coming here. Don't y'all love coming here? You guys get applause when you come in too, right? No? Oh, it's just me? Oh, well, some of us just got it like that. I don't know. How you doing this evening, Char?
I am pretty well. But something that is special, I do greet everyone that comes in. Who does that?
See?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That is a fair point. I don't even greet everyone who comes in. Like, I mean, like to anywhere, like at all. Even while I'm sitting there in the chat doing nothing else, it's like, oh, man, another one. Man, maybe you just won't notice me. I'm so lazy. I'm a very lazy person. Like I just don't want to have to go through all that typing. Maybe like because on the computer, I feel like they make it easier on the computer than they do on the cell phone. Like you can
Yeah.
type in the first couple letters and just click on a name. You can't do that on a cell phone. You have to, you have to do the at sign and you have to, type in the capitals and but like people don't realize what a pain. If your name is something weird with a bunch of capitals and lowercase and letters and numbers and just straight, it is really difficult to at you. Really difficult. Every time one of those people says hi to me, I'm like, fine. Right? Like, I just want to say,
Wow.
God damn. Lazy. Okay?
Well, at least
I
you
say
keep
I
it real
try,
and
but I
honest.
don't. See? Exactly. That at least it's 100% genuine. I'm not fronting because I would make myself sound way better than I do. So there's that. So at least.
Kudos to you. Okay, well, you
Thank
ready
you.
to get on into the topic, are you?
Oh, I am ready to dive in. Let's do it. Yes. Okay. I'm
Okay,
ready. Getting myself ready. Got my popcorn. You know what I mean? I got my tea. Oh, ready.
Oh, okay. Good deal. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, this should be it. We got audio. Audio. Audio.
Nice.
Okay. Today I have a letter that's from a gentleman, and I'll get right on into it. He writes, Dear Char, I have a female friend that just got involved with a man who really likes her. she really likes him as well. But he waited 3 or 4 months before he told her that he had a child on the way with his ex-girlfriend that he lived with once. He treats her well and he takes good care of her financially. Recently, the baby mama reached out to my friend and it's getting a bit weird. My friend changed her number. She has her own things in life to deal with that is stressful, and this is not needed. If this is what it is now with the phone calls before the baby is here, I can't imagine what it will be like for my friend in the future when the child is actually here. What do you think about this? Well, thank you so much for your letter. All right.
All right. Can we get a recap, Char, of that? So I don't know. I feel like I'm mixing up the details in my head.
Actually, me too. But I'm also tired, so that's a double whammy. This guy wrote in about his female friend that is dating this guy who has an ex-girlfriend that is pregnant, but he did not mention that to her when he met her. She was good and pregnant when he met her.
Okay.
Yes, and then next thing you know,
Okay.
the baby mama is calling to her. The baby mama is calling to her.
Okay. I don't know. I think for some reason the pregnant part, I thought there was like a baby and not a pregnancy. So I'm like, what do you mean when the baby's here? Was she pregnant now? Or I don't know. For some reason I added like a whole extra detail that wasn't there. Okay. Got it. So he's asking then, like, for her, like, what should she do?
He was asking what I
Or
thought about the whole situation. That's what he had asked about.
okay, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, got it.
And I did not mention that the young lady changed her number because she got tired of the baby mama calling her.
How does the baby mama have her number?
You know,
Isn't that
it
like a
sound
weird
like you
detail?
listened to it sound like you listened to the letter. My sentiment exactly.
I don't know. How did that happen? It's not like it's like, a home phone situation, like, way back in the days when all there were home phones. So if he ever had to make a call, and he was at the new girlfriend's house, he had to use that number. So that's how she got it. Like, no, everyone has their own individual phone that they carry everywhere they go. How does this woman have the new girlfriend's cell phone number? Like, you know what? I'll tell you this. So just to address that one point. To address that one point, I'll tell y'all a story. So the way I found out one of my exes, Mr. Love of my life, is a lying, cheating whore, is because his crazy psycho ex-girlfriend called me to confirm that he's a cheating, lying whore. And I mean, she called my cell phone, right? So in case you had any, well, hey, he broke up with this girl. This is not his most recent ex. This is the ex before that ex. So, where would she have gotten my number from? Unless she got it from his cell phone, which is actually exactly where she got it from when he was there, having sex with her one time, went to the bathroom and she saw my number and name pop up in like the text message. And so she wrote down my number quick. So just in case he ever did something she didn't like or try to break it off with her, then, she could move forward with ruining his life by telling me about everything they've been up to and everything he confessed to her, in order to get her to trust him again so he could get back in with this crazy, psycho, fat, ugly woman. Anyway, point is, the way the number was gotten is because he was used to being up in there with her, sleeping with her, blah, blah, blah. And, eventually you leave your phone on the table, you go to the bathroom one time. It only takes once. Only takes once. For your phone to be sitting on a table and you think it's locked and everything's cool, but then a text message pops up on that, the home screen, which is what happened. So then my question would be from there, if that's how she got it off of, his phone. What was the context they were in that this man was around his pregnant ex-girlfriend and she had a look at his phone long enough to get the new girlfriend's number, and then take her sweet time to write down that number so that way she could call it when she felt like it? That's all I want to know.
Great question.
Yep.
Great question. And I hope people have answers. That's what I'm hoping.
Right?
Well, I got a few things to say. I need to turn this fan on because I am burning up in here. Let me put this joint conversation up. Okay. Well,
Okay.
what happens is when a guy has been with a woman and he's comfortable with her, he lay up with her, drool off and everything. And, you know, hey, he put everything down. He ain't worried about nothing. He like, she got me. I come back when I want. Yeah. And he got comfortable. Hey, girl, you going to have my baby, and it's going to be good. Don't worry about it, girl. I got you. Let me get some of that. Yeah, girl.
Yep.
And she like, okay. And then they do the deed. And he gone to sleep, And
Yep.
she look over like, huh. Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. So that's why you came calling. Okay. Oh, okay. I see now. Mm-hmm. Okay, I get you. And she probably just said, I'm just gonna hold on to this because I'm not gonna disturb his groove because I'm gonna see if he gonna do what he said he gonna do when he got all up in this. And then as soon as he didn't, come through with whatever that was, she said, "Hey, baby, my cell phone is due. Can you pay my cell phone? Can you pay my telephone bill?" And he like, "Oh, girl, I don't have it, But you say you gonna help me. Oh, girl, I got you. I had got paid. I had some other things to do. Like treat my new woman. I had some other things to do. And but I'm gonna hit you up. When is it due? Oh, I'm gonna get you. I got you. I got you in 2 weeks, girl. I got you. And I'm gonna be over there too. Yeah, girl.
Yep.
I can see that playing out.
Of
I can
course.
see it. I
Of
can see it.
course. Like, listen, people are under this delusional cloud, and I don't understand where it comes from. That women and young women, especially, but girls, young women, whatever, they're out there intentionally getting pregnant by people they don't really care about, that they don't want to deal with at all. And they just wait until the baby comes out. So, yes, child support. No. There might be a few, but the larger majority is exactly what you just described, right? It's like, hey, I thought he cared about me. I thought all those things he was saying and whispering in my ears to get up in it were real, and I thought he wanted to be a family with me. And sure, maybe I ignored red flags, and sure, maybe I read a little too much into what he was saying, but that's what I believed. I was stupid, right? That's why they're so angry and bitter later, right? They didn't sit there and say, I don't care. I want this baby so I could be on child support. Like that almost never happens. Like, let's be real. So, now, and I'm not sitting there to say, oh, well, maybe the guy was clear. Maybe he said, hey, listen, I don't want to be with you, but you have my baby. I'll help you take care of the baby. And then, she decided taking care of her during the pregnancy was part of that. And he decided it wasn't. And hey, listen, I'm not saying there wasn't some kind of miscommunication, but let's not get things twisted. No woman starts doing this kind of stuff unless she really likes the guy, and B, really thought that there was going to be something, and now she's a little bit upset or disappointed or angry because he's lying to her too. No, you're my girl. No, yeah, no. Oh, that girl over there doesn't mean anything. Goes to the girlfriend. Oh, her? No, she's just the pregnant baby moms, but we're not together. She don't mean nothing, right? Just lying to everybody. So, hey, come on.
That does happen. And a lot of time people don't stop and think that if a relationship doesn't work, a man is not taking any time off usually. He break up with Keisha on Monday. He trying to get that noodle wet on by Wednesday, definitely by the end of the week. He moving on. It didn't work out, pregnant or not. He moves on. That's normally how it goes. So it's unfortunate that you keep seeing a guy, and sometimes the woman, I understand, hey, you got the man seed up in you. You're going to keep seeing him. You're going to believe some of the things he say, and it makes sense. And I'll stop talking and invite Vonda to the stage. Welcome, young lady.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, Char. Hey, Ruby. How are you ladies doing?
Fine. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Anytime.
Well, as you can tell from my comments, I feel I'm very animated when it comes to this topic. Because, at the end of the day, I think what the new girlfriend is doing with changing her number. I wouldn't want to change my number. I've had the same number for, over 20 years. I'm not changing my number, but I would be very upset at him for her getting my number. A man, if he's going to have side chicks, he needs to know that if you have your main chick and then you have side chicks, you never, ever, 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 ever get that comfortable with your side chicks. Because what you do is you leave a breach for them to bother your main chick and then blow all your game up. So if you had any intentions on keeping that a secret, that you're still banging your baby mama, then you should have thought about that. But it looks to me that if this chick is calling the current chick on a regular basis to the point where this chick is like, oh my God, this girl's calling me again. I got to get my number changed. There are some issues, and she should, not just walk. She should run, do a hellified sprint away from this dude and leave him in the dust. Number one, he lied. Well, he didn't lie. He did not tell her about the baby when he probably knew full well that the baby was on its way, but he waited until she was, 3 to 4 months into this relationship and probably a little stuck on him, but 4 months is not a lifetime. So she can, she can leave, because this is going to be some issues. This woman is still attached to this man. She's having his baby, and apparently she's still sleeping with them.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. But let's think about this for a second, okay? So there's, approximately, give or take, 4 weeks in a month, right? So 4 times 4 is 16 weeks. A woman is only pregnant for 40 weeks. 40. So, and how long was this other woman pregnant before he left and then got together with this girl? How long was that break? Because he was with this girl at least on week 1 of this pregnancy, right? Okay. So because she didn't give birth yet, right? So that means this 4 months is encompassed within that 40 weeks. And the breakup, him taking the time to recover and, get himself in the right mindset to date again and blah, 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 meeting her, so whatever you go through to meet new people, meeting a new person, and then getting together with them. That all happened within this 40 weeks so far, and that baby still isn't born. Like, I'm sorry. I don't know if this is rebound territory. Like, I don't know, maybe the pregnant woman hurt him really bad. I don't know if it's a rebound. I don't know. But I can tell you that there's no way that this relationship is healthy. There's no way. That's too fast.
Rudy, that's a very, very good point that you made. But take this into consideration. We have no idea what his relationship is with this baby mama, except for he has sex with her. She's pregnant and he's still having sex with her.
So he used to live with her.
This chick, they used to live together. Did I miss that?
Yeah, she said that he used to stay with. So that means they used to live together in some context. I mean,
that means he used to stay with her on the weekends when he didn't want to stay at home and he wanted some sex, on 24/7. I mean, you never know. This relationship could have been quite a casual relationship that he had with this woman. And because she was so nuts and crazy, he embarked on a new relationship. This probably wasn't oh, my heart is broken. Me and my baby mama broke up and now I'm moving on. No, he was, laying it low and spreading it wide. He was just doing that. He was on to the next chick. And then she comes back. Oh, guess what, Junior? I'm pregnant. Oh, damn. And he might still be tipping with her and creeping with her because, quote unquote, the sex was always good. And he's like, oh, well, she is my baby mama.
It could be. See, that's a problem. There's a lot of if, ands, and maybes. But to me, it seems like if the way that, because this is a third party commenting. So based on the fact, every time that they choose to bring something up, I feel like it's important. Like it's a real thing, as in they were living together. Mm-hmm. So that means they were together for long enough, right? That, you move in together and whatever. To me, that's like a step. Even if it's not the most serious step these days, it's still a step. So it's still a level of bonding. And so to me, again, this woman still has not dropped that kid out of her. So this 4-month relationship has happened somewhere within that 40 weeks of time. And if you find out you got a woman pregnant, there's a baby on its way now with a woman that you were with long enough that you were living with her, right? To me, as a grown person, because we don't know if he found out about the pregnancy before or after, but if he knew about the pregnancy and broke up with this woman, to me, he's very young-minded to have not spent more time focusing on self, building up whatever he needs to build, because he has a kid on the way. He was focusing on dating and romancing a new partner. Like, that's a little bit crazy to me. And then he knew because actually, you know what? He knew for sure before meeting this woman at the very least, because, the letter says he hid this. That means he knew about it and then he hid it, right? This is immature on so many different levels, so many different facets. Like, this baby hasn't come yet, and you're going to get a new woman in, and you're hoping you can spend enough time with her. She falls in love with you, and you can be like, oh, by the way, I have a baby coming in 2 months. Do you have, what did he think was going to happen? And then again, obviously still sleeping with the baby mama. Like, this is a whole mess he's creating. He's creating such a mess. I mean, at any point, this other woman might turn up pregnant too. Now what? You're going to have kids that are basically in the same grade from 2 different women?
And that was my concern. If this was to happen to me personally, I don't care if it was a year that this woman started calling me. The fact that she got my number tells me that he was very comfortable to leave his phone.
Yep.
Right.
Very comfortable. So if you're that comfortable, more than likely you didn't go over for Thanksgiving dinner and put the phone on the table and ate. No. Right. You disrobed.
Yeah.
So that would have been a deal breaker for me personally.
That
Mm-hmm.
would have been the deal breaker for me too, because the fact that this chick is calling me, and my thing is I don't have anything to do with your previous relationship. Whatever happened or didn't happen, that's on you. You start on a new relationship with someone new, and then you have some overspill. I have to deal with your child's mother, and the child's not even here. First off, the child's not even here. Second of all, I didn't even know about the child until I had already been involved with you for 3 to 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's like, you know what? Big time deception with this man. And will it end? I don't think so. I think she's probably going to find out some more stuff with this man.
Yep. Oh yeah. And then on top of that, strike three is the fact that this woman, now I don't know about the details, but what I do know is that she feels very possessive over the baby daddy. She feels very possessive over her baby daddy. And the baby's not even here yet, right? So you put all of those factors together, like this is, like I said, it's just a mess. It's a disaster. There's no way that this man is trustworthy enough. There's no way that this man is mature enough, I think, at this point, for him to even handle this situation just on its own merits. As far as, okay, I have a new woman that I'm dating. We're at the place where we're falling in love and making plans, but I also have a very young baby with another woman who needs me to take care of it and spend time with it and blah blah blah, and I've got to meld those two worlds together without the lines getting blurry, i.e. no, you can't just sleep with your baby moms because she produced babies for you forever. That's not actually a thing most women are okay with. In fact, even women who are okay with their men kind of sleeping with other people or whatever, having a little bit more open, they're still not really okay with that, because you did produce a child with this person, right? It's a different relationship. It's a different level.
For that, if this woman, this pregnant woman is calling the new girlfriend, I can just imagine what conversations are taking place. What is she saying to her? What reason would your baby's mother have to call me regarding a child that's not even here?
Right.
Yeah, that
Why are you calling me?
I
Why
don't
is
know.
she?
I don't know. I've never understood that. I had that happen to me twice. One, the guy was married and I didn't know. And then two, the guy wasn't with the woman anymore. They weren't, dating. And she just decided to go through his records, his phone records. At the time, you used to be able to go through people phone records. All you needed
You
the
used to get a
number.
bill, an itemized bill with the numbers
Right.
on it.
Right. So that's how she found me that way. But we never connected. We never had a conversation. But with the married woman, she wanted to let me know that the guy was married. And I said, okay, because I didn't know. So I'm like, okay. And she asked me some questions. And I know she was trying to get some type of closure. But unfortunately, the person I am, I made it worse than what it was. It was the truth. I just made it worse. So she really hated him when I gave her the details, but I really didn't know. So that was the end of that after I found out. But I just think maybe the women just need to know what is it about you? And a lot of times it's not a big thing. It's just something different. And even if it is a big thing, okay, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to keep him or get rid of him? What you going to do? You have to make your decision. And I don't see making a conversation with the other woman help you with that decision.
Absolutely not. She has absolutely no matter in it whatsoever. The fact of the matter is that he lied to you and he's leading this dual life is enough to say, you know what, this is the beginning of the end. If he's doing this right now with me, who knows where I'm going to be sitting, 5 years from now if I continue to carry on this relationship with this dude. So it's like, okay, bye. I'm done. I mean, and I can just imagine, the reason or the prompting of the the ex-woman, or even in that case, the wife calling the other woman, is to let her be aware of, hey, he's still over here digging this out. He's still doing this. You know, he's lying to you just like he's lying to me. Now what you gonna do? And that's what she wants to do. She wants to evoke an action from you, and rightfully so. You know, if he is, you know, not being true to you, it's like, oh no, this is already, we're on the left foot already. We haven't even gone on the right foot. This is all wrong.
Some women, unfortunately, so two different reasons why, but some women choose the intentionally, almost like hard and indirect path, which is to only be in competition with women, and therefore to choose men that, regardless of how they behave, almost their behavior is not their fault. So if you get rid of the competition, then he has no options to cheat on you with. If you get rid of the competition, then he has no options for who's going to be his number one spot girl. And so instead of going directly at the issue, which is the man who is cheating, or the man who is, who has left you and whatever, and dealing with it on that level, they go this indirect route where, since, women are their competition for mates, they say, well, you know what? I think all women are competing for my mate, and therefore I'm going to come for all the women. I'm not going to look at my mate and say, hey, listen, he's accountable for his behavior, and if he doesn't want to keep it in his pants, or he doesn't want to be with me and whatever, well, hey, I should look at that and say, maybe I deserve better. But there are some women who honestly, either because, well, if they have a child for you, they're just like, well, now that's my baby daddy, I want to have my children with him, and I think we should be together, and I'm just going to fight for him, quote unquote. But other women, it's almost like they're programming because it's what they saw growing up. Or they have really low self-esteem, or they really have a belief that this is just how all men are. All men are like this. This is just what it's going to be. And so, once you settle on one that does it for you, quote unquote, then that's it. Now you just fight. That's what you're supposed to do. I'm sure Love and Hip Hop Atlanta has not helped that perception all that much, and shows like that, right? But that's what it is, right? This is why we get into these competitions for mates that don't want us, right? They just want us because we want them. Like, they like having their harem of women fighting over them. They don't actually want any of them, right? Those aren't the women that they settle down with. That's not the woman they chose. And unfortunately, I'm hoping that the friend, right? I'm hoping that the new girlfriend, this information is new. It's been blasted at her. She has to take a second. And I hope when she takes that second, she goes, yeah, no, this is just too messy for me, and leaves. Because otherwise, child.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have changed my number. I'm with Vonda. I would not change my number.
Yeah, I don't want to change my number. It's like,
if you're going to harass me, I'm going to flip it. I'm going to harass you. That's what I'm going to end up doing. I'll flip it on you. You're going to wish you never had the number.
I don't know, man. These days, some of these women are doing some vicious stuff. I remember the story. I can't remember exactly the details, but I do remember that it was someone's baby mom's, and she put her kids inside of the car and drove to where her baby daddy and his new girlfriend were, and basically ran over the new girlfriend with her car.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh wow. Goodness gracious.
Yeah. Hey man, this killer be killed instinct is like being over applied in the world, and there's a real viciousness the younger the generation seems to get, like, whereas I remember it wasn't that long ago of a time that, like, people got shot, but they didn't get shot because someone stepped on their shoes accidentally in a club. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've personally seen someone get stabbed because someone stepped on their shoes accidentally in a club. Like, you were willing to stab a human standing in close proximity to you because they accidentally stepped on your new kicks in the club. This is like, what? Right? And so that's part of the issue, is you don't know what kind of crazy is on the other end of this phone. You actually don't. So you know, some people, right? It depends on the angle you want to go. For me, I don't want to antagonize your crazy because I'm not sure what it is. I'm not sure if you're the one that I'll be walking across the street and this chick has been lying in wait for 4 days by this one stop sign, just waiting for me to walk across this one place so she could run me over, right? Like, I don't know. I don't know what kind of crazy she is, but I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with him either, though. If you're going to bring that kind of crazy to my life, I have no time for you. None.
Exactly. I mean, I've watched a lot of crime shows and I've seen this scenario happen time and time again. I actually know of a situation where a girl actually killed her husband was cheating on her with another girl, got the girl pregnant, and she killed this girl. She murdered the pregnant woman. And the icing on the cake is she was pregnant by another dude.
Wow.
What the world?
Hey. And
Wow.
you know what? When I mean just the whole, winding, intricate details of this story, it was just amazing. And you know what? That is just way too much drama. And you know what? Before I fight over a man, honey, you can have him. I'm not doing any of that. I am not about to argue with Nairn chick. I'm not about to fight no chick. I'm not about to have a conversation about what I consider to be my man with another chick in an angry, I got him type thing. Now, what I will do is I will protect myself. What you're not going to do is you're not going to come in my space and just tell me anything because of who you think I'm dating or because I'm dating this person or what have you. You're not going to do that. I will protect myself at all costs. But I'm not going to engage nobody in this type of drama. I'm just not doing that. She's going to have to really go out of her way. But if I'm not dealing with the man no more, it's a done deal. It's done. I'm not about to go through this. And the fact that he even, the fact that he is the reason why this chick, is coming after me, he was sloppy. Something right is not going on. Something is not right. The milk is spoiled. Something's not right.
Well, and to add to that, right? I mean, I've always said, like, to men in general, like, I'm not fighting your mom for you, or, I'm not going to fight another woman. I don't care who it is for you, for your time, for your attention, for your affection, for your whatever. That's your fight. If you want to have that fight, feel free. But I'm not the one who's going to do it. Right. So if another woman wants your time, attention, and affection that much that they're willing to take it and you're willing to give it to them, then they can have it. It's fine. So that's on you. To me, there's the accountability factor again. And I say that as a grown up, you are accountable for where you are choosing to spend your time. You can't say, oh, it's not my fault. My mama, she, it's not my fault. My baby mom, she, no, it's absolutely on him. He has a choice about where he's spending his time, how he's choosing to spend his time, how he's choosing to divvy it up. And he also has a choice about whether or not he's allowing, because yes, it is allowing these women to run free and wild, attacking his new girlfriend, harassing his new girlfriend, blah, blah, blah. He has a choice about all of that. So at the end of the day, if he's going to choose to allow that to happen, I'm going to let you know what happened. You're going to choose to continue to allow it to happen. What am I supposed to do? It's a free country. I can't stop her from dialing your number. As soon as I hear that, whoa, done.
I'm done.
Done.
Yeah, we're not gonna even have this conversation.
Yep.
Jerome, we're done.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, because you're not going to make your baby mama my problem. You're not going to make your mama my problem. It's not going to happen.
One night with her, ain't laid 5 minutes with her, ain't never set eyes on her. I'd be damned if I'm going to be mixed up in a drama and arguing with this woman.
Right.
No.
Nope. You can have it. I'm telling you. And because you know what? When I hear that though too, to me, I hear a lifetime of problems that you are going to be, too much of a coward for you to deal with head on. Well, there's nothing I can do about it. well, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do about it. So what, you want me to step into your role and then solve all the problems and lead us into victory? No, that's not my role. Right? Like, I'm sorry, I'm a traditional woman. You need a feminist, because that's not me. I'm not trying to do that. So this is your problem. Okay? This is your issue. You need to address it. You need to deal with it. Right? My phone ever rings again, you're like, I already handled her. And I'm like, oh, you handled her? Well, here's the phone ringing. You better be snatching that phone out of my hand so quick to tell that woman about her dirty self and blah, 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 blah. It better happen so quick. And then, you know what I mean? Like, there's no way that you should just be telling me that it's my problem. I have to handle you calling to the point where I have to change my number now. I have to change my number. Wait,
well,
what?
it's wrong for him to do that. It's wrong for him to leave it in her hands and her having to change her number. He's the one who has the coexisting relationship with this woman. He is the reason why this woman has even started bothering your new woman. But if this woman does not nip this in the bud, and there's really nothing she can do, she can either make her decision to stay with this man or to walk away. If you stay with this man, you're going to be dealing with, some fuckery beyond your imagination, because as long as she's carrying his child and her hormones are going crazy, she is going to be a pain in your ass until she finds somebody else to occupy her time. And when that baby comes, that baby's not going to have enough to occupy her time. She's going to still be wanting to deal with this man.
Exactly. Because that's why she's doing this to begin with. Because you are, to her, the way she sees it, right, is that you are her barrier to the entry of the white picket fence family life, right? If you would just go away, then she could have her man back. So unless her man is willing to spell it out for her, that even if this new chick goes away, I still won't be with you. I don't feel you like that. I don't want that at all. Right? Which actually, honestly, I'll tell you, it bothers me when people aren't a little bit more clear about that, and in a manipulative way. So that is to say, you want this woman to have your baby, but you don't want to be with her. But instead of telling her, I don't want to be with you, but I would love if you have my baby because you got a pretty face and I think we'll make pretty kids together. You're going to lie to her and tell her those pretty things and whatever, so that way she keeps carrying that kid for you, because once it's here, well, great. What are you going to do now? Can't turn back the hands of time. But, she's still got time. As long as she's still got time to have an abortion, as long as she's still got time to sign up for immediate adoption and whatever, you're going to lie to her. And see, that to me, I do have an issue with. And I actually have heard of stories where this has been the case, right? Where a guy wants progeny, right? He wants progeny with women he considers are, physically fit and beautiful. So, hey, I'm just going to keep lying to you so that way you give me that progeny. Man, do you know how many men have asked me to have their babies? I mean, men I wasn't dating, men I wasn't talking to, men I wasn't sleeping with, or whatever. But when they were hitting on me, it was actually a question they would ask. Girl, you so fine. I want you to have my babies. No, I'm being serious. I'm being serious. I make pretty kids. Oh yeah, of course I don't have any kids. I make pretty kids, girl. I make pretty kids. You know what? I've had more than one. Okay, in all fairness, at least half of them were Rastas. But anyway, I've had way more than one tell me, like, as if, here's my resume. I make beautiful children. How many children you got? 8, 10, 12. Wait, hold on. Jeez. You want me to be part of your harem of baby mamas? No.
I want you to be number 12, girl. I want you to be number 12.
Yeah, you try to get the whole pack, right? No. But some people are like that. They want the progeny without the responsibility, right? So they try to find different women who look a certain way or who behave a certain way and whatever to try to get them to have their children. Right? Now, this guy, I mean, look at the way that this guy, the friend who wrote in, look at the way that he described the situation, which was that, they have a really great relationship. Wait, hold on, what? He lied for months about having a baby on the way. And then he sat there and acted like a blind, deaf coward over this woman now harassing the new girlfriend. Let alone at that point turning around and saying, I'm sorry, it's my fault she has your number, here's how. But that's another story. But yeah, no, so he's just been perfect. He's been a perfect boyfriend in so many ways. This is great, right? I mean, it's very easy to be a great boyfriend or a great girlfriend, as long as you don't actually, I don't know, have to tell the truth about anything, and you can just manipulate people and spend the best hours of the day with them, and then manipulate them and lie and cheat and steal at night, right? Like, that's like, this is not a great relationship. This is not a good. Why did anyone just, like, how could you describe this as a great relationship? Like, what? No, no, it's not. They must be young people. They must
You know what? I was going to say that. I'm like, they sound very, late teens, 20-ish, early 20-ish to me. You know, I wouldn't even go further than the mid 20s.
Yeah.
So yeah, the fact that this is even a question, I mean, later on in life, you'd be like, oh, well, this is a no-brainer. He done already made the decision. The minute she started calling my phone, and I knew he still had dealings with her, outside of, just trying to be there for his child. And then he kept it from me. I mean, that's something that you'd want to, let me know up front and not let it go for so long. And then you want to tell me about it?
Yeah.
No.
He purposely withheld that information.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Purposely did that. And it's the only thing with that, I don't like when people take away my freedom of choice. I don't like that. Let me make the decision if I want to see you because you have all these things going on.
Yep.
You knew there was opportunity or chance. I would not. I would say no and reject that.
Right. I hate when people say that. I would have told you, but I thought you'd say no.
Well, I have every
Yeah.
Exactly. I should be able to. You look at the situation you put me in. Of course I'm going to say no.
But see, I like you, girl. I like that big old booty, and I didn't want you to say no.
Right.
And that's exactly what's going on.
Right.
They
You
don't
don't
want you to.
Right. You don't get to manipulate me into you having your cake and eating it too. That's not the way it works. There's some idiot out there who would be happy with this arrangement, right? I'm not that idiot. So go find her, because it's not me. You don't get to make me that idiot because that's the cake you want to eat. You don't get to choose your cake now from any fish in the sea because you've already made a bunch of your other choices, right? You chose not to wrap it up, right? Obviously, right? Oh, I don't like condoms. They feel so restrictive. I can't feel nothing. Well, there you go. You made that choice. You made the condomless choice, and now you have a baby on the way. You made the choice that while the baby was on the way, that you wanted to go out and start dating again. You made the choice to pick up a woman like me. I'm sure I told you about my values. I do that relatively early on. And you made the choice to lie to manipulate me from that point on. Right? I mean, dude, you made your choices. You made your choices. Like, I don't understand why people like to make their bed and then nobody knows how to sleep in it anymore. Nobody. It's ridiculous.
All those damn lumps in it. They don't want to sleep on them lumps. They pushed all that stuff underneath the covers and got all the lumps in the damn bed. They don't want to sleep in that.
Right? So if they don't want to sleep in it, imagine how I feel having to sleep in their lumpy made bed. I don't want to sleep in your lumps. If you don't want to, trust me, I don't want to. You know what I mean? Like, this is you're a man, which means the bed that you made, right, is the bed that you are leading me to sleep into every day, right? So the worse that bed is for you, it's even more worse for the person who didn't get to at least experience the night of fun, right? At least you got a night of pleasure out of it. I didn't even get that, right? I just got you can't fool me into this situation. I'm telling you, for me, oh my God, because I think I've said this before. I don't date men with children. It was just never going to be. Yeah, I've never been the one. And this is why I'm not hypercritical of men who say I don't date women with children, because I can understand and relate. It's a large investment when you're in a relationship. To me, and I'm a long-term relationship kind of gal anyway. But you're in that long-term relationship. I already have a very hard time ending them, and a really hard time with the fallout. Long after I stopped being in love with the ex, I'm still in love with their family. right? All these people that we've connected with, and I love you so much now, and now you just don't exist to me anymore. Or like I was devastated that my sister basically grew up with one of my ex-boyfriends, basically grew up with him, and then I was taking him away. It's just like so close to when her mom died. It was like a year after her mom died, and she saw my ex as her big brother, and blah blah blah. I was going to take that away from her, and I felt so horrible about it. I'm one of those people. I get very kind of dedicated and loyal and attached. So for me, dating someone who has children, even if they're well established, even if the lines are very clear, the ex don't watch you, blah blah blah, it's not a good look for me personally, right? So I would be furious in this situation, especially if we got to the place where now we're having sex and I love yous are being shared and blah blah blah, and then I find out this is what you were setting me up for. Like, oh man, my blood boils a little bit just thinking about this, because I'm just like I don't want to be anybody's stepmom. I don't. It's not for me, especially not in this scenario. This is a damn newborn. It's a newborn.
Yeah, I don't blame you. That's just way too much. That's way too much. He actually should be, instead of out there swinging his Johnson, finding new girlfriends, he should be trying to nurture a decent relationship with this woman, so that when that child is born, he can have a decent relationship with the child. But he's out here starting new relationships and being deceitful, not letting her know what's really going on, because who's to say that relationship would have even lasted as long as it did had she known he had another woman pregnant. Because some women would just tear it out, be like, oh, I'm not trying to do that. Like you say, you don't even want a man that has children. So the fact that she's 2 months pregnant or whenever he got into this new relationship, give her that decision. Let her make her own decision whether she wants to continue on with that or not. But that's where it gets messy. We're in here now 4 months later. It's all messy. I'm all attached and whatnot. And apparently you're still having relationships with this woman. So now she's trying to, get rid of me. And it's like, oh no, this is just too much.
Right. And you're too weak or pee-whipped or something for you to speak up to her and say, hey, listen, you need to fall back. That's my woman. This is my life and my woman. And so don't do this. Right. So I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt that he's not actually dating both of these women at the same time. I'm giving him that benefit of the doubt. I feel like that would have come out, because if the baby mom had that standing, she would have played it, right? And then the girl would be all crying about, I can't believe he's dating a woman and got her pregnant and then started dating me too. That's not the story we're getting. So I feel like I'm going to give him the basic credit that he has actually broken up with that woman. He clearly doesn't live with that woman anymore. Okay, so I'm giving him that credit. Fine. Okay. Right? But from there, that's the only credit I can give him, right? Is that part of the story is true. The whole rest of the thing, how am I giving you credit for that? Because if you're not with this woman, but she's carrying your kid and whatever, how as a man are you not willing to go and sit there? And I'm sorry. Listen, guys, I know I'm probably pissing you guys off a little bit, but I'm just being real. How as a man are you not willing to go there and lay down the law? Listen, woman, you and we have a child on the way. And I told you I got your back when it comes to the child. And I told you that I'm going to, spoil my child, love my child. Absolutely. But this is my life and you don't play with my life. That's not how we're going to do this. No threats, no ultimatums, just you're not doing it anymore. The end. Done.
Ruby,
right?
That sounds like a man who's not sleeping with her. Because if he's sleeping with her, he is definitely not about to tell her nothing like that.
True.
He ain't telling her anywhere near that. It's like, oh, okay, well, I'll think about it, but you know what you did to my car, while he sleeps with her, and then he ups and leaves.
You know what, though? Remember the movie Goodfellas? Remember that movie? I loved that movie.
Yeah, it's been a while, but yeah.
I just watched it the other day.
Right? Yeah, okay.
Throw it at me.
When I was like 16, 17, I was dating a guy who was obsessed with this movie. So I probably have seen it like 57 times. I've never seen it again after we broke up because I saw it so often for 4 years while we were together. Anyway, point is of that movie, right? So the Goodfellas life, what is it? You go find yourself a beautiful woman, you court her, you know, she's a beautiful woman from good stock, blah, blah, you court her, you marry her, right? Now she's a wife. Wives, you don't defile your wives with the nightclub scene and this and that kind of life. No, they stay home and they cook and they clean and they take care of your kids and you provide them with all the luxuries in the world. And then when you're going to go out for a business dinner, you go bring some hot young, you know, piece of tail, and you know they sit next to you and blah blah blah, and then you bang them, and you know you could even have a mistress if you really like the mistress, and you put her up in an apartment and you treat her well, and right. But and this was all great. When did the problem come in? When this chick decided to brighten herself up, well, she's gonna call people's houses. Well, she's gonna show up at people's. Who are you? That's do you remember he was like, that's my wife, that's my wife. He was so mad. Know your role, right? Like you just because you're acting kind of funky, it doesn't mean that you can't lay down that law. He made sure to let that woman know in no uncertain terms, you are not doing that again. You are not jeopardizing my marriage and my family and my wife's feelings. You're not doing that. You're not. You're just not. That's not going to happen. No. Right? And so you can do it, right? Now, yes, okay, fine, it's a movie, fine, I get it. But no, you can. You can, I mean, come on, like, let's be real. My uncle was a whore. I don't know if he's not anymore, but damn near my whole, well, you know, I don't know. I can say for the first like 20 odd years of my life or whatever, he was like, he would bring me to these girls' houses and then pretend like he's not there for like nefarious reasons. But he would bring me because I was at his house with him and his girl, right? And so, oh no, come on, obviously I didn't do anything bad, or obviously she's just a friend. I brought my niece, right? And see, that's probably why I'll lie for my friends and stuff, because I've been lying for men apparently my whole life, covering for them. Did they actually go into a room and for, you know, a few minutes and then come out giggling? Yes. Do I tell his girlfriend that? No. Right. So I mean, I've been friends with people for a long time, but I'll tell you that nobody on planet Earth, not one of those women, has ever done anything but smile in his girl's face and tell her how lucky she is to have such a good man, such a loyal man. They've been friends, or da 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 da. No way would they ever brighten themselves up to go and try to tell her he cheats on you. Oh, come on. He's never been a faithful kind of guy. Right. Same thing with his original, like his first girlfriend, his first baby moms. Right. Yeah, he's a horrible cheater, but no one told her he's a horrible cheater. Right. But he was, right. She knew. And I think at one point she stalked him to find out. Right.
And that's what I was going to say, Ruby. I mean, you know, if you're dealing with someone who is a serial cheater, does anyone really have to tell you that they're cheating? I mean, don't you kind of, you smell it. You can see it. You know it. The hairs on the back of your neck is standing up. Something is telling you that you're walking around. You're like, what is that smell? I smell something. Something is not right. Something's not right.
Yeah. My ex-boyfriend, the one who was the horrible lying cheater, for the entire relationship, he told me, right? This is all after the fact now, you know, but he told me it was eerie. It was creepy that every time he cheated, I knew every time. Like, and he didn't just mean like I would know after when I saw him. I would know, like, because I would get these feelings, right? It's like the world was sending me signals, and I would text him, and like I would seem crazy and paranoid if it wasn't true. But he said it was always true. Like there were times where he thought maybe I was having him followed. There was times where he thought maybe someone had seen him. No, he said this, right? So the best thing he could do is just play stupid and see if I was, it was just going off the feelings and whatever. But he said it was crazy. There was never one time that I thought he cheated on me that he didn't cheat on me. Not one time. And I didn't miss one time either. He said I always knew. I might have been wrong about who he cheated with. So like he would cheat. So he had this best female friend. Her name was it doesn't matter what her name is. Point is, he had this best female friend. And they were real close. And this chick, I mean, she had huge boobs. Like, I mean, like literally her boobs were bigger than everyone's head. Like it's just, they're huge boobs with this teeny tiny waist and these teeny tiny hips, flat ass, skinny
We'll
thighs.
call
Like,
her Booby.
Yeah, we'll call her Boobs. Mrs. Boobs a lot. And she was also brilliant. When I say brilliant, this woman is so intelligent that like she finished her master's in like, I think she was like 21, 22 when she finally got her master, 21 when she got her master's, which she had double majored for her honors bachelor. And these are sciences. And then she was in marketing at Bell. This is a very big telecommunications company. It's like the biggest one in Canada. And she was in marketing there, making I can't remember. Let's say it was $80,000 to start. And then within a year, she was leaving and she was moving to another country because they poached her to pay her over $200,000. This is like literally 3 years out of school. 3 years. Yeah. She was just that's how brilliant she was. So I was jealous as shit of her, right? Because because she's smarter than me. I don't meet a lot of people who are demonstrably way smarter than me. Like way, but she was also an airhead. And then she had these huge boobs. It's like she was like everything. She was everything. She was way more and way less of everything that I wanted to be, right? Like I hated her, but I loved her. She was great. And so when I started getting that feeling, I thought he was cheating with her. But then he said, no, never, ever, never once. They really see each other like brother and sister, but he would cheat and then go see her. So she was basically his cover. So if I talked to her when we went to hang out and stuff, she'd be like, yeah, he was here, right? It's like, oh, I trust this girl. So I know, like, okay, but why do I feel like this? Because he did cheat on me. He cheated on me on the way to her house. He would do stuff like that, right? I knew every time, but I decided to dismiss it because I didn't have proof. See, because we're always waiting for proof. Why are we waiting for the proof? That's what I don't understand. Why do we wait for proof that something that clearly is happening is happening? But because it doesn't matter.
You'd be like, I can't believe it. I need to see it.
Right? But like at that point, doesn't matter because I feel like this, right? And it's taken me a long time to get to that place. And I'm only like 75% there. But I feel like if you are at that place where you are legit convinced, in your soul, this person's cheating on you. In your soul they are, right? And you say to yourself, if I could prove it, and it's proved that he's cheating on me, I would leave him. You should leave him anyway, because the trust is gone, right? And the connection is gone. The bond is gone. All those things that, you should be fighting for, they seem to be gone. So you either should be heading to relationship counseling anyway. Although for me, that didn't work because everyone loved my ex. Everyone. He was so sweet. And he's just this sweet little innocent, adorable nerd, right? He would never lie to you. He said he never cheated on you. That's what my counselor would say to me. And I told her, of course he said it. And he's lying. And I was right. Oh, man. In my head, this is so petty. In my head, I want to go, like I want to see her somewhere where I'm holding a glass of wine so I could throw it in her face and tell her she's a fraud. Because she was wrong. I do. She was so wrong because she was blaming me. Like I'm crazy. I wasn't crazy. I knew I wasn't crazy. That's right. Anyway, point is, right? Is that no, you know what I mean though? Well, like either head to relationship counseling and I hope you guys can rebuild whatever's shattered, or just leave because you're going to waste how many years of your life not having proof, but never actually trusting him. never actually bonding with him, never actually opening yourself up to him, because you're positive he's cheating on you. You're positive he's betraying you. You're positive,
And
right?
see, that is the beauty of having a pure relationship where you trust someone until they break your trust, and then it's
Yes.
hard to get that trust back. I mean that is so beautiful, and to be honest, you can only have that one time. You can
Yeah.
only have that one time, and if you F it up, then it's like, damn. I mean, you can rebuild it, but there's still a scar. There's a fracture there. You can
Yeah.
fill it in with some epoxy all you like, but
Mm.
there is still a fracture. There's a crack in there, because if the person was so trusting of you and was very open with you, you really, let them down. You really,
Mm-hmm.
really let them down. And I've been in relationships where that has happened. It's like, damn, I mean, you had, every bit of trust you could have possibly had. And because you did this one effed up thing, you totally just destroyed it, and it was so
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
effortlessly
Yep.
destroyed it so effortlessly.
Yep. Yeah. I mentioned that on the radio show one time, right? Is that when love and a connection and a bond is new, it's at its purest, right? So it's at its shiniest. Love is at its shiniest. And every time you commit a sin against each other in some way, you take a little bit of the shine off that love, right? And your issue is, right, once it gets to the point where it's so dulled and scratched up, right? That's like when you get to the song, like, when a woman's fed up, there ain't nothing you could do about it.
Mm-hmm.
The hour of love, it's too late to talk about it, right? But up until that point, like you said, you can buff it back up, right? You buff it back up, but the scratch is still there, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't actually literally restore, when it comes to feelings like that. You can't actually restore stuff like it's brand new unless they get
Right.
amnesia and just forget magically that period of time, that betrayal. But that's the unfortunate part, and a lot of times I think people don't realize how precious that is until it's gone, until they've lost it, until they've squandered it, basically. And then it sucks, because then that you're basically working on a 95% full tank. It's not the same as the
Yeah.
100% full tank. And it's like, do you want to fight for 95% full for the rest of your life when you could have had 100? Well, that's the trade-off then, because 100% with someone else might not be this special, might not be this beautiful, might not be this wonderful and this pure and this whatever, right?
Shit, they might come in giving you 70% because they done been, gone through so much stuff with their previous relationship. There's no way they can give anybody 100%. So you're just not
Right.
going to get it.
Yeah.
They're going to always be side-eyeing you from
Mm-hmm.
day one, and that's not a good
Exactly.
feeling. That is not a good feeling.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And so that's people need to start making better decisions, but of course, they don't, because I honestly, when it comes to I don't get all of them. Just all of them. I don't get the pregnant woman. I don't get the man. I don't get the new girlfriend. And I don't understand the friend, right? I don't. I know this is going to sound weird, right? I don't understand the friend. Why don't I understand the friend? All right, listen. So you want us to just tell you, like, what do you think? What do you think about the situation? Okay. But see, my question is this, like, is it just because it's so ridiculous and horrific to you that you want us to mock it for you because you're not allowed to? Is that what it is? Or are you hoping that somewhere in here will actually say something that's helpful to you, that might be helpful to her? Or like what? Like, what's your motivation? Because I feel like if you were trying to be helpful, you would have given us a little bit more as far as what you're looking for.
I
I
was
kind
thinking
of,
the same thing, Ruby. I was thinking the same thing. And I even created a whole story inside my head with the friend. I'm like, if the
yeah.
friend is male, the friend wants her for himself.
Mm.
And it's hard for him to just tell her that, because she probably won't take it as well. So it's like, let me go to, this advice show, get some, subjective, feedback, and this might, help me. I mean, because the truth of the matter is, she should actually walk away. I'm
Mhm.
sorry, poor blind man, and a deaf dog would tell you she should just walk away from this. There is no salvaging this. It started on the left foot from the very beginning, with him not even telling you that, this chick was pregnant.
Exactly. You know what? I love that you said that, because I'm like, I didn't consider the orbiter simp in my factoring of the friend, right? Actually,
Yeah,
I was
he
going the
wants you
whole
for
opposite
himself, but
way.
he's not going to be straight out and just say, oh, yeah, I want you for myself. You don't need to be with him. It's like, no, I need to, get her to be, like see it as an open picture, and just, think, oh, well, shit, most women would walk away from this. So maybe I will. And what? I need a
And
shoulder. Oh, there it is.
and now I need to. Now I feel like we should be playing Vanessa Williams, save the best for last. You went and saved the best for that. I think that's what they're waiting for, right? They're hoping you run through enough bad cookies, eventually one day they're gonna wake up and go, "It's always been you," right? Like this, like bro, no, definitely not gonna happen. Definitely not gonna happen. But I guess if that's what the case is, if that's what it is, I gotta say that how do I phrase this delicately? Delicately. I don't have and I've never been one who allows that type of scenario. I didn't have the terminology orbiter simp or whatever. I just didn't allow people who had feelings for me in any significant way for them to be my friends, right? Because you're not a friend then, so your motivation is not friendly. So therefore, we can't just chill. We can't just whatever. We're not talking to each other based on shared commonalities, shared interests, or whatever. You're here because you're trying to please me, because you're trying to be appealing to me, because really you would like to date me or sleep with me, right? So to me, that never appealed to me, because I actually have male friends. But part of the reason why I wouldn't do it, even if that was the case, if I found one of those people, wanted to date me, I would find that really unattractive. And the longer you were doing that, the more unattractive you would be to me. Because a man who would put himself in that position where he's going to be my girlfriend on purpose, like he's going to be my girlfriend. He's not going to be my guy friend. He's going to be my girlfriend on purpose. He's there as a, constant source of, inspiration and you go girl, and you got this, and he don't, girl, you deserve better than that. You're just a girlfriend, right? I'm not going to see you as a man who's throwing your hat in the ring and trying to be like, girl, the reason why I'm saying that is because I would treat you better than that, and I mean that, give me a chance. No, I'm going to see you like a girlfriend, and the more years you do it, the more I'm not going to be attracted to you ever in life, ever.
But see, I disagree with that, only because at the end of the day, there are only two type of people in the world. There are only men and women, and all of your friends are not going to be heterosexual, female women. You're going to, have friends with the males. And although they do see you as a friend, they might at the same time find you attractive, but doesn't mean that they want to sleep with you. But if the opportunity arose to sleep with you, they wouldn't turn it down, because that's the attraction between, a male and a female.
Yeah, but no, I don't even, to be honest with you, and I'm going to be real, when that situation happens, I drop those friends too. So for example, like when me and horrible cheater guy, when we broke up, because we were together for like a long time, like 5 years. And when we broke up, suddenly friends who were my friends, these are my boys, right? Now they're coming over, and oh, I'll bring you up for coffee. Okay, yeah, I'll bring by, a 12-pack. We'll get wasted, and you can tell me what a jerk he is, and whatever, and then we'll blah 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 blah. We'll go to the bar or clubbing or whatever, right? And all of a sudden they're acting funny, and I was like,
because they see you as a woman, and
no. But hold on. But that's my point. That's my point. My point is they were waiting for their turn, right? They figured, well, they can't date me. So these are people that I met within that 5 years. And, you know, they figured, well, they can't date me now. So they're going to show me what a great friend and can be, and, you know, how much we can have in common, how great conversation can be. So that way, when me and my boyfriend break up, now it's their turn. And actually one of them literally said that, and I never talked to him again. Because that's not a friend to me, right? I can look at my male friends, and the ones that I think are objectively attractive, I can say they're objectively attractive guys. You know, this is why it's one of the selling points when I'm trying to hook you up with someone, right? But I am not attracted to you. And unless that is mutual, unless it's a mutual thing where even if I was drunk and horny, you still wouldn't touch me. Even if I was like, I lost my mind and I fell in love with you, you still wouldn't be like, all right, yeah, let's give it a shot. Or, you know, let's at least bang. Or no, you wouldn't touch me. Right. I do have male friends like that, right? Because they're not into me. I am not their preference. Right. And they're not my preference. So it works. Now, you know, and I'm not saying, hey, for guys or girls who can't have friends of the opposite gender, there's something wrong with that. I'm just saying, like, for me, that wouldn't work for me because it's not the same relationship. It's not. There's not the same ultimate trust and comfort level and why you're in this. This is not a friendship to you. Right?
I know exactly what you're saying. And for me, in my, you know, male female relationships, dudes that I was friends with, what I do for me, I take my ego out of it. And I know that, you know, men are attracted to women, and if given the opportunity, you know, if something can happen, men would be all aboard for it, you know, for the most part, you know, and I'm just speaking very generally. And I have been friends with men who, as far as they knew, I was in a relationship and there was absolutely no chance of them being with me. But it did not mean that they didn't find me attractive. You know, they found me attractive, but our relationship was not based on that. It was actually based on the friendship that I actually had with the gentleman. So we were able to have decent friendships without clouding it with a whole bunch of I like you type of thing, you know, when am I going to get a turn type of thing? And because that could be awkward. So the friendship for me was very genuine because I was able to take the ego out of it and be like, I know he think I'm cute. You know, no, we really had genuine friendships.
But see, Vonda, there's a difference though between that and say someone legit seeing you like a sister or like a brother, right? Right. And so that's what I'm talking about. I mean, right. I have a very small pool of friends to begin with, regardless of gender. But that is kind of the relationship we have. Like I remember once, I can't remember what the plan was. It was a really dumb plan. But it was some type of hustle that they wanted to run. Like, okay, but we need a chick for this. And I'm like, I'm a chick. And they're like, no, like a real one. Like it was like they didn't see that to other people I'm attractive or I have assets. Like it didn't, I don't exist to them. Like I can pretty up, you know. Yeah, sure. I kind of, you know, dress mostly like a color coordinated bum, but I can look beautiful. They don't see me that way. They can't see it. Or like if I'm showing cleavage and stuff, they don't go, God damn. They go, ew, cover that up. Right? Like that's like legit. Like now again, I'm not saying that you're going to find a lot of this in your life. I'm just saying that for me, when it comes to friendships, I'm looking for that level. And actually that goes with women too, because I actually do have, you know, lesbian friends. They are attracted to women, right? They're not attracted to me. Right? Just because you are attracted to, you know, women, or just because you're attracted to men doesn't mean you're attracted to all of them. Just because other people might find someone attractive doesn't mean everyone finds that person attractive. And just because some men will sleep with anything that moves doesn't mean that every man is like that. Right? Like, I mean, they don't want to admit it. No, well, you know, if that was true,
facetious. I'm just being facetious.
No, but you know what though? If that was true, oh man, we're gonna have to find that the Ron Wills video that he posted, where he posted that video and he was talking about the national statistics for, you know, how many people have you slept with, and like for men, the average number was 7. Right? So I mean, and for women it was like 20, but for men it was like 7. Right? And for that to be the average, that means there has to be a lot under that and over that, right? And we do know there's lots of guys who are over that, That means that the majority must be pulling that number way down for it to be at 7. So actually, I'm going to say that although guys like to talk a lot of smack and they talk themselves up big because they're supposed to be man whores, they're supposed to sleep with anything that moves, they're supposed to this, they're supposed to that. I'm going to say the majority probably don't. In fact, I think a lot of men that I've met have standards. They actually do have standards about who they would sleep with, even if they were desperate, even if they were, in a dry spell. They actually do have standards. They're not going to stick themselves into just anything. Right now, I'm not trying to say that, they have all moral standards, right? Because some of them will still be very immoral given the guidelines of they won't sleep with just anyone that looks a physical way, right? But or they might slip up once or twice, and but I'm just saying, right? I think that we give that whole trope of men will sleep with anyone at any time. I think we give that too much play, and even if they don't want to admit it, I don't think it's true. No, Vonda, I don't know. Vonda, you are a very beautiful woman, so I mean, the fact that you're a grandma, like I don't 100% believe you because you look so damn young, right? So you got youth and vitality on your side too. So I'm gonna guess, if anything, right, that maybe it hasn't been much of your experience, because in general, there's probably a lot of men flocking to you to begin with, being attracted to you based on your physicality as far as what you look like. For me, a lot of people don't meet me based on what I look like because they can't actually really tell initially that I'm particularly beautiful one way or the other, because I'm a disaster, like at least 85% of the time, all the time. Like it's not even like I don't try. It's like I go so the opposite way of trying. Like I'm very lazy. I'm very tomboyish. You know what I mean? And I've always kind of downplayed my looks, if anything, on purpose, because I don't want to trade on them. So like, and on top of that, I don't really dress like in a way that I guess would be showcasing my assets, you could say, right? So, you're wearing stuff that's covering you up. Nothing's really fitted. I'm not wearing girl clothes, really. Like I'm not wearing skirts or, I'm really bad at that. 97, and that's how I meet 97% of people. So when they find out I could actually look like a girl, they're like, "Oh, really? Damn. Okay, check you out." Right? Yeah. No, seriously, that was my life. I haven't made a lot of new friends, and it's for the reason of what happened with me and my ex, because it was so surprising to me. Like I was devastated when I lost like 7 friends. Like I just lost a whole bunch of friends that I thought were my friends, but they're not actually my friends.
7? That
yeah.
is a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot. And it was all because I thought I could make new friends. A lot of the friendships I've had like since almost childhood. You know what I mean? Or like since early middle school or high school. And I find it really difficult to make new male friends in general, for that reason, I think. Because men now at this age, I think that they're in a different place as well. A lot of men who are, say, in this age category, they're not really looking for female friends. If they needed some, they have some already. Right? Now when they want to, bring a woman into their fold, quote unquote, it's to date her, right? Or to vet her or something for dating. So I think it's a little bit different now, making new ones versus the established old ones,
Okay. Well, Miss Regina.
Hey,
Miss Regina.
here.
Hey, ladies.
Hello, my love. How are you?
How are you?
I am doing well, ladies. It's so good to hear you guys.
Likewise.
Thank you.
I hope that everyone is doing well.
Pretty
Yes,
well.
Thank you.
Good.
Well, we have an hour left and the show goes quickly.
Yes.
Did you want to join in with the situation with the young lady?
So I tried to listen as much as I can to find out, because I came in mid, I like to listen first, and I tried to see what her role was and what was going on with her.
Okay. I'll give you a recap then.
Okay.
A gentleman, he wrote in about his friend, which is a woman, is dating a guy who has a ex, which is his baby mama, but the woman is pregnant. And he's been dating the new woman for a little bit, 3 or 4 months, and this woman has been pregnant, and she's just now finding out because the girlfriend or ex-girlfriend is calling her.
Oh, what? So the guy wrote in?
No, a guy wrote in.
Which is her friend.
About his friend's situation. He wrote in about his friend's situation.
Right. His female friend situation. That is correct. In her situation, she's dating this guy who chose not to say that he has a woman pregnant, and the woman ended up calling this woman. She changed her phone number, and the guy wanted to know, what did I think about that whole situation?
Mind your business. I'm just saying.
Like, I feel the same way.
I'm not finna get caught up in that. Oh, girl, well, you know, to me, as a male, okay, as a male writing in about his female friend.
Well, I guess maybe just wanted to see what my point of view was, which is fine.
Yeah, and that's fine. Yeah,
I think he wants her. I
agree, Vonda. He's like, baby, you can drop that zero and get with this hero. And I'm telling my age right now. You know, I'm telling my age.
Yes.
You should stop fronting. You know I want you, girl.
Right. Oh my goodness. Yeah, because there's nothing you could tell her right now, nothing you could say to her. If she wants to, if the other woman starts calling her and she's venting to you about that, yes, be that friend. Yeah, I'll listen to you. No advice. Just you know what you're gonna do, because that is, as a friend, being on the other side of that, it's the answer is, what are you gonna do? You pregnant, or whatever the case may be, or she's pregnant and now she's contacting you. What are you gonna do? What do you want to do? As a friend, that's where you can insert yourself. But other than that, I mean, and if you just really ready to go ahead and tell her that you want her too, and you don't know how to say it, then just say, you might want to sit on your hands and shut your mouth and keep on listening to her. That's unfortunate. Because it sounds like you're absolutely right, Vonda. He wants to get in that. He wants that.
Yep, and he's trying to be very careful, because I don't think he wants to come out and be like, leave him, because then that'll she'd be like, hey, wait a minute, she might stay with him an extra 6 months,
right?
So he's trying to Char,
he playing it safe.
What can I do? What do you think?
Yep, he slid in the second. He's playing it real safe.
Exactly. He's trying to be safe and not get timed out. He's not trying to get timed out. This like dodgeball. He ain't trying to get tagged out.
He's not trying to get tagged out.
Weak. Nope. Because you know what? Listen, I'm telling you, when he decides to come out with this a couple years later, I've been in love with you all this time, right? She's going to think about what kind of man could be in love with you and stand by and do nothing while some other man does you dirty, right? And he knows it. He's going to stand by and do nothing, right? Yeah. Because I see the tiger, the lion, name something ferocious, the jaguar, whatever it is, come out of my man when any man tries to do. Hey, I'll tell you a story. So one time, now, okay, for anyone who doesn't understand, I got some issues standing straight upright for an extended period of time. It's much easier for me to kind of be bent almost at a 90-degree angle, which makes grocery shopping perfect because I can lean over the cart and then it's, I can move my legs forever at that point. It's great. So, I get out of the car and he goes to go and get a cart for me and bring it back. and I'm walking really slowly across the parking lot. It's later at night, you know, that we're going to the grocery store, just picking up a few things for tomorrow. And this guy starts walking towards me. He's walking real fast. And I can see what he's doing because he's eyeing my purse. So this guy wants to take my purse. I can see that's what he's going to do. He's going to get real close to me. He's going to start running because he can see I don't move that quick and I got a cane in my hand. And he's going to snatch my purse and he's going to head for the hills, right? But then, like when he got to the place where he's about to start running at me, right? My man, he notices my man is now a foot away from me with this cart. And he diverts quick and starts walking into the grocery store, right? He's like sort of beelining towards me. Now all of a sudden he's angled back towards the left and he's going towards the grocery store. Oh, okay, right? So now we're walking and I was like, oh, this guy, I swear to God, he was gonna rob me. This is what happened. So I explained the story to him. We get inside the grocery store and he's like, who was it? Which one was it? Which one? Right? And I was like, finally we walked by, I'm like, oh, it was him. Man, he was about to go. He was about, like, literally, I had to grab him. He started moving so quickly. Like, he was going, fist clenched or whatever. He's about to go. I'm like, please, please, please. He didn't actually do anything. I can't prove what I'm saying is true. He didn't touch me. He didn't say anything to me. He was far enough away still. And he's like, I don't give it. Like, he didn't care. You had an intention in your head of robbing my woman. That's not gonna fly with me, right? Like, he was not okay with that, with this guy's intention. You know, so now to me, I'm like, you know, on one side, I'm like, ooh, that's scary. That's dangerous. Ooh, that's sexy, right? So, I mean, because you're a woman, right? So you want to feel protected. And so a man who is okay with just sitting there and giving you the girlfriend treatment, while some other man is doing you dirty and he's not standing up
tonight. Yes.
Yeah, right? And he's not going to stand up. Nope. I remember at one point I have a male friend, and at one point I was dating someone who, long story short, we were separated, but it wasn't like a permanent separation. You know, he went back to his mom's house. We were fighting. It was this whole entire thing, right? We were like a little bit younger. We're mid-20s, but still, like, you know, a little younger.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of stuff happened. Like my car broke down. I was suddenly going to lose my whole semester because I couldn't get to school for exams and blah blah blah. And then this toilet in the house above me exploded onto my bed. It came through the vents from the bathroom upstairs and leaked on my bed. So now I have no bed to sleep on. So I'm sleeping sitting up inside of this chair. And it was a series of very bad, unfortunate events. And then at that time, it was really close to when I had a car accident. And so I couldn't get a garbage bag out of the garbage bin myself. Because it's hard to get those, like, you have to like hold the bin and then pull with the other arm, and I couldn't do it myself. So everything was just going to hell in a handbasket. And this friend of mine took 2 buses, you know, and a subway to get to my house, to take the garbage out for me and like just try to help a little bit. And then he wrote to my man and said, like, listen, I don't normally step into, you know, people's business or whatever, but like, you have a really good girl on your hands and you are really messing it up and you do not want to lose her. So I would figure out your issues real quick and then I would go back home where you belong because you're needed there. And she's not the kind of woman who needs to wait indefinitely for some, you know, basically some ain't shit dude to show up and feel like doing his job. Someone else is going to come take your job for you, right? I just did it this week. Next week, it might be a man who wants her. And he did that, right? I had no idea he did it. No idea for years. I had no idea he did it. But he did do that, right? Because it's like, nah. You know, and so that's what I'm saying. Even when it comes to that, right? When I had a lot of like, I can't believe he really did that for me, whatever, right? But it makes you feel touched. Like, you know, like he's not going to just sit by and let someone treat me badly or ignore me or whatever, right? So that's how I see this guy. If that's what it is, yo, he needs to stand up and do something then. If you really want this girl, you better stand up and do something now. Because if you don't later, she's going to look at you like you're weak. And that's it.
That's right. That's so true. That is so true.
Like, sorry, I'm not trying to be mean.
No, you're right. I mean, if he doesn't eventually make his move, she will look at that as a sign of weakness, because at some point he's got to step up to the plate and say, okay, bam, this is what it is, this, that, and the third. And she gonna be like, oh, wow, James, I've never heard you talk like this before, and she might be like, well, wait a minute,
That
Mm-hmm.
means we think some things around here.
wait a minute, because James don't usually talk like that. He's usually just very soft spoken, but he has spoken. James has spoken. And she's like, okay, yeah, okay. So
Yeah.
I think at some point, I think what he's probably trying to do is, test the waters, and try to see where Char and what type of advice he's going to get from you. And then he's gonna just jump on it. I mean, if he's interested in her like I think he is, I think he just better just pounce on it, because this is a relationship not worth preserving. There's nothing, there is no preserving this. What are you gonna preserve? What do you preserve? The lie that he told at the beginning, or the lie he's telling now? No. There's no preserving. What are we preserving?
Yep. Hey, that's what it comes. Again, all I want to know is, right? Because I don't know. Did she not ask the question? How is this girl calling you? Where did she get your number from? Would you put it publicly on your Facebook? Like, I'm confused. Why is that not a bigger point in this story? Right? Like, I don't understand. Right? How? Someone explain to me why that's not a bigger point of the story. Because if it's not a bigger point in the story, she's choosing, when you keep yourself willfully ignorant, she is choosing not to see that issue.
I agree, Ruby, because you want to know why I agree with you on that? Because the heifer changed her number. Either she changed her number, or she's considering changing her number. And like I said, I've had my number. Come on now. I'm not changing my number because this heifer want to keep calling me.
Facts.
I'm not doing that, so this is what we're not going to do. I'm not changing my number. I'm not about to engage with you. I'm not about to go down these alleyways and, back streets with you about this man. Obviously he wasn't telling some of us, each one of us, the truth. And that's where she needs to make her decision. And if this dude don't just come out and tell her, look, this is what you need to do, or, this is what homeboy is doing, and I'm giving it to you straight from how, a brother's point of view. And that's where she needs to take it. And that's the way he needs to come at her. If he really want her, he better, lay it out there hard and real. And she's going to be like, what? Wait a minute, James. Okay.
That's what it is. I mean, I think the thing is, to an extent, right, is you can't save everybody. You definitely can't save people from themselves. And this is one of those situations. See, this all plays back into, this friend is secretly in love with her, because that's what it sounds like to me. He wants to save her from himself. He wants us to spend 2 hours talking about how crazy she is and poking all the holes inside of this. So that way she can see it for herself, and then he'll just casually drop the link to her. Although maybe he won't now, since we've talked about him being in love with her. But anyway, I don't know. And just be like, see, this is what they think. Maybe he'll just, cut out some pieces and play it for her. I don't know. But the point is that, the reason why he's doing that is because, she's hopelessly devoted already, right? I mean, I understand, because that's what happens, right? You fall in love hard, deep, fast, quick, lust, love, whatever. But you fall into that, hard, deep, and quick, and then suddenly everything's acceptable, right? Because you can make an excuse for anything.
My number. Yeah, I'll just change my number. I've had it, for 10 years, but I'll just change it just for peace.
Because she understands everyone, right? She understands why he lied about this and hid it. And she understands why this woman's acting like a crazy psycho freak. And she just understands everything because she's hopelessly devoted. And, I mean, he's such a great man. So, of course, this woman still wants him back. Never mind stopping and thinking, oh, so how pregnant was she? Hold on, you hit it for 2 months. Okay, cool. And so she's how pregnant now? Oh, 6 months. Okay, so she was 4 months pregnant and carry the one. And so when did you break up with her again? Right, because that's where I would be. Right,
Ruby, I'm on you. I'm right there. I'm right there with my Rolodex in the brain, just backing it up and like, okay, now wait a minute, let's just figure this out.
Right. Like I'm still trying to process that. I'm really trying to figure out the numbers here because I don't get that. I do not get how you could. I understand. No, I don't. Obviously, I don't relate. Right. But I understand why some people are good with being stepmama. Some people are good with dating people who have kids. I get that. I understand that because you know what? Things happen, right? So you're in this relationship, and then it didn't work out, and eventually co-parenting is not just enough. You got to, find a relationship for yourself. I get that part. Cool. I don't understand how someone could still be pregnant at this point in new love. It's kind of like, I can't remember where I've seen it, but I've absolutely seen it. It's probably Maury's show or something, right? Where a woman starts dating a new guy, right? When she's like 4 months pregnant. And you're like, really? Like she knew she was 4 months pregnant. She told him and he was cool with it. And I'm like, really? Like you're cool with this? Really?
Yeah, I felt the same way. I'm just like, I don't get that. I mean, I even tripped off of Lil Wayne with Lauren London and, what's her name? Nivea. They were pregnant at the same time and, having baby showers together and just hugging and like, ugh.
Oh, wow.
And I'm just like, okay. And I kind of figured it out. Nivea really was like his main woman and he was going to marry her. And I just think that Lauren London was the chick he messed around with and she got pregnant. She just happened to be Lauren London and not, some no-name chick. So as far as she was concerned, I mean, it's not like she had like great stakes in it because Nivea was already there.
Right.
Nivea was already there. And then she comes along and it's like, okay, well, yeah, I mean, this is no big deal. My baby will be taken care of. And that's just that.
Wait. Regine's mama is Nivea?
No, that's Toya. Toya is his ex-wife, and that's the mother of his oldest child.
And what's a chick got a baby by him too?
Nivea, the singer Nivea, and Lauren London. That was with Nipsey Russell when he passed away.
Yeah, she got a baby by him too.
She got a baby with Lil Wayne. Her oldest child is by Lil Wayne.
I'm about to throw up. Okay, I'm sorry. Oh Lord.
Okay, I'm sorry. I only have one thing to say about that. Have a baby by me, baby, be a millionaire. Have a baby by me, baby, be a millionaire. Have a baby by me, baby, be a millionaire.
No.
Seriously, that's the whole chorus. That's the whole chorus of the song.
No, and I wouldn't even. Oh my gosh, I don't even think I would do a turkey baster for him.
Hey, Lil Wayne used to be very talented.
Not attractive though.
You know what? I have a soft spot for Lil Wayne because I just have always had this thing for Lil Wayne. I mean, as he, went down his journey of, syrup, and his little drug usage and whatnot, he's changed a lot, but I just always thought he was very talented, with the way that he could, come with his rhymes and his business sense. I just...
Okay. All right. Okay, but never mind. All righty. Thank you for the update.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay, so back to the letter. Okay, so
right. To each their own.
I need a drink.
Now, Miss Regina, now let me ask you.
Yeah.
Now, this guy you're dating, it is now November, and his ex, according to him, calls you and says she's pregnant, and you've been seeing this guy since July.
Okay.
How are you going to deal with that?
Well, of course, we're going to have a sit down session.
Right.
I'm going to be, have a sit down with him. So, what were you thinking? And now I'm going to refer back to when I was listening in earlier,
Okay.
and when Ruby, I just love you to pieces, sweetie. Thinking that
Likewise.
people are having logical thoughts about, you know, um, yeah, if I get her pregnant, this is what's going to happen. That they're having some logical thoughts. These are not individuals who are, it sounds like they're younger. And I know that was mentioned earlier. Sounds like
Mm-hmm.
they're younger. It doesn't seem like it's somebody that's sitting down like, oh my gosh, she's pregnant now. What am I going to do? How am I going to handle this? Um, for, so for me, yeah, we're going to have to sit down and basically it's okay. Where are you? What are you trying to do here? What is this going to look like? I'm not trying. It depends on how much I'm interested in you. If this was just, trying it out, I'm just, in the store trying it out, got my little stocking foot on and just trying it out. I ain't trying to really have a full relationship, then okay, it's over. No need to move around. No need to try to make this more than what it is. If that's you need to be over there, or are you really trying to be here? That's a conversation that needs to be had. And if you're really trying to be here, then you need to handle that because I'm not changing my number. I'm
Exactly.
not.
That's what
I'm
I'm
not
saying.
doing. I'm not. I'm not finna go through this. Um, what is she? Why is she calling here? And actually dealt with that, y'all, years and years ago. And when I say years ago, it was when my oldest was a baby. So we're talking about she's 28 now. And so this is
Mm.
28 years ago dealing with a woman or a girl. And I call that so immature. Um,
Mm.
and she would call there and ask, is he there? And I'm like, no, sweetie, he ain't with me. He ain't with you. He ain't with neither one of us. So why are you calling here? He's not here. What you calling here for? Uh, y- you know, it's so immature to handle a situation like that. Would have never thought to call another woman, especially if I'm pregnant. Never thought they were calling me. And I was the one that was pregnant. And it wasn't even his baby. Y'all, that was some crazy.
Mhm.
Wow.
He was over my house more, and it wasn't his baby. And the thought, now and that's the other thing that came back to memory too. When Ruby was saying, he was like, "I wish it was mine." No, it's not. Sorry. Yeah. Mm, sorry. But yeah, you got to decide where you want to be, and then I'm going to make the decision. Really, is this really who I want to be with? Where was I going with this in the first place?
Yeah.
Because I if
Mhm.
my interest wasn't really really there, or if I'm really interested in this person, yes, that's the decision I would make. Is for him to make the decision. You're not going to sit here. I'm not going to try to give her counseling. Well, if he's over here, honey, then yeah, he's not
But
trying to be with
Regina,
you. Yes.
how interested are you really after 4 months?
You know,
Ruby, you could be
oh, okay,
very
you know what?
interested after 4 months.
Yeah, a lot can happen. Okay, I'm doing that now. Okay, so a lot can happen. I'm serious. Within 2 months, okay. So now you
Well, what
got to really say
after 2 months? Because that's when she found out at month 2. So yeah. Okay.
yeah. So we deep in, and then not even. It doesn't even have to be physical. I'm talking about just somebody that you vibe with, someone that you're really into. Like this could possibly go somewhere. You know, unlike I guess the younger generation, yes, 2 months can almost be a lot, a lifetime. Like they almost done spent their eternity together. But if you have not been intimate, because most oftentimes they've already had sex, they've been intimate. I'm talking about how I do relationships, and it's not going to be 2 months in and we moving in and it's not like that.
Ugh.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Mm-mm.
not like that. That's not what I'm talking about.
I wonder if this guy's a homosexual. Hold on, I just realized something, right? Because okay, no,
Ooh.
right? Because based on the letter, right, we know that this guy used to quote unquote stay with her, and we've chosen to see that as living with her. But what if it was like a homosexual thing? It's what he does, right? He
What
like
he
he
does.
don't have nowhere else to live. He has no fixed address. He has no
But
fixed
he
job.
wouldn't be moving in. He would not be moving in after 2 months.
No, not after 4 months.
And
No,
I
but a homosexual.
thank you,
No,
Vonda. Thank
no,
you.
a homosexual shows up at your house, gives you the best day of your life, and never leaves. That's the
No,
whole point of
you
the
are
Mm-mm.
homosexual.
no, you're not giving me the best day of my
No,
life in
buddy.
2 months. You are not.
Take
You
that D and
no.
wrap it up and go home at some point. You're going to have to go home.
You
You don't live here.
Yeah, but the homosexual targets a particular demographic, right? Homosexual does not target, everybody. He targets the kind of woman who will fall for this, right? And then eventually that kind of woman gets sick and tired of the foolishness, right? Because you're not willing to stop playing Xbox, you're not willing to get a job, you're not willing to clean nothing, you're barely willing to wash your ass. The only thing you're willing to do is bang me and then tell me I must feed you, right? And then I must also pay all of the bills, and then I gotta top up your phone because you ain't got no credit this month, and all kinds of foolishness, right? So eventually the woman gets tired of that and she kicks you out, right? So okay, let's say this guy's a homosexual, right? So he's with the woman who got pregnant, and homosexual stays, and then she finds out she's pregnant, and then suddenly not only does she expect him to actually, I don't know, try to be a grown up, she expects him to do it now because there's a baby on the way, so it's time to grow up. So he runs away from that responsibility instead and goes and finds his next target as a homosexual, i.e., the friend now in question. And so she is one of those easy targets too. And now the pregnant woman is calling, and she's basically talking to one of her sisters in arms, right? Because they all deal with the homosexuals. They all share the homosexuals. They're used to this foolishness, right? Which is why this is not striking anyone as particularly odd. Because I'm still trying to figure out, why doesn't she care? Well, if she deals with homosexuals and she's part of that group that is sharing all the homosexuals, well, then you're kind of used to this. It's par for the course, right? You're not really looking for like fidelity, because a homosexual, he's only as faithful as his option. You know that, right? That's why you try to keep the homosexual as happy as possible until you get tired of it.
So you mean this further lets me know that this is some young foolery, because the more mature you become, yes, you will recognize, and you may get taken by a few, and I say this all the time. Yeah, you may get caught up. I tell my daughters, I tell my friends, we may get caught up with some men. They gotta try. They have to. And you may get caught up 2-4 months in, and you know what? This ain't right. This ain't going right. You want to sit on the couch? No, goodbye. No matter how good the D is, no matter how you just can't deliver. You cannot deliver what I need right now. And it's cool. And I'm gonna accept the L, and I'm gonna get out of this game. I'm gonna give me my shit, coach, and I'm out the game. I'm done. I'm done. And so, and move on, and it's okay. But to sit there and wallow and pass, and here you get him this week and I get him, and that little song out there that I can get him on the weekends and you get him during the week. What kind of foolery?
What?
Yes.
I'm not with any of that.
They don't play that song over there on CRBJ.
They
I'm
telling you, when I heard that foolishness, I said, you know what? That generation is a lost cause, because they are okay with that. And even closer to me, where my nephew, and I call him my nephew, but it's not blood relationship, but I call him my nephew, and got a girl pregnant, and they wanted to come by for Thanksgiving. Got the old girlfriend pregnant. she and her boyfriend and he and his new woman want to come by here. No, I ain't got enough chicken. I ain't got enough turkey. I ain't got enough greens. I ain't got enough nothing for y'all over here. I don't want that spirit even in my house. I'm not going to condone that. No, no, y'all not finna do that up in here. But that's the way they roll now. It's okay, and for majority of them, that's how they roll. And I'm so sorry. I will not even condone that. You ain't no auntie. She just wanted to taste some of your greens. I'll pack some up and put it in a Tupperware. Y'all come back and get it tomorrow. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
No, you just won't.
But
But
then
see,
there's one thing you got to consider also is that it wasn't even the woman that was writing in. It was the man, her friend, that was writing in. So as far as we know, she is complicit with everything that's going on because she's done gone as far as, okay, I'll just get my number changed, meaning she's kind of in it for the long haul. Or why would you get your number changed?
Yep. Right. So she made a decision. And that's what it comes down to, right? We got to look at everyone in the roles that they're playing and try to figure out, okay, what makes the most sense as far as where things stand. And that's why I go back to the homosexual and the type of woman who takes in and enables the homosexual. But see, now this is a problem in and of itself. Because at this point, then this woman's not going anywhere, no matter what this man does. This is a big bombshell to drop at the very beginning of a relationship, right? This is a lot. So this is the kind of guy who's going to keep coming home and having babies on you, and is not going to support nothing, and that kind of stuff. I mean, it really screams to me like he's the kind of guy who, because this is why the relationship's so great, right? So he's nice to her, right? He's kind to her. He's sweet to her, right? He says nice things and cuddles her and is willing to hold hands and talk about feelings, all that game. And that's the game he runs. And for her, that standard is so high and is so different than what she's used to that for her, this is a good relationship. Right, which tells you that what she's been picking up until this point has not been particularly good or functional for anybody, right? And so I think at this point, right, like, I mean, obviously we all think this relationship should end, but I'm like, I think for her relationship should end right now. She is not in a place because it seems like she's going for unhealthy things, and it's because she doesn't really understand her worth, her value, and what a relationship is supposed to look like. How it's supposed to feel, right? A guy just saying nice things to you, and being sweet to you, quote unquote, that shouldn't be like oh my God, I can't believe this is really happening. If that's what it is, like, dude, your self-esteem is really messed up. That that's special to you, right? Like, well, I'm used to guys talking to me like I'm trash. I'm used to them barking orders after me. I'm used to them. They tell me I got to walk, a foot behind them at all times. They don't want to be seen with me in the street, right? Like, if that's what you're used to, so a guy just treating you vaguely decently, even though he's not willing to uphold any other end of his bargain except for the D aspect of it, that's not good. That's not functional. That's not adult. That's not, manhood. Sorry, again, I know I shouldn't speak on manhood versus womanhood, but that's what it is, right? If someone told me that a woman, well, at least she's nice to him and she spreads her legs, so that makes her a great woman. Like, what? No. There must be more, right? Like, you don't have to. But see, this is what happens when we start playing with what are traditional gender roles within the home and within society, but we don't flush it out, right? We just start yelling about I should have this right, I should have that right, I should do this, I should do this, but we don't flush it out to the end, right? We don't say, okay, but given that, what else should be happening, right? So it's like this idea that, okay, well, women should be 50-50, right? There's that whole entire thing where it's like, no, you pay 50% of the bills. You got to bring money to the table too. But you should also submit to me. Wait, what? No. Hold on. So I must provide, right? I must provide 50% of the bills. Otherwise, I'm gone. But then I also should just submit to you. Wait, that doesn't sound like it jives. It doesn't line up. It's one thing for me to also be working, for me to also be supporting the household because we need it, because I want to, right? But if you're telling me that is a requirement from you, you can't tell me you require me to act like the stay-at-home wife with you, but you also require me to pay 50% of the bills. That doesn't make any sense. Then shouldn't I only give you 50% of the submission? And then you give me 50% of the submission? Is that what we're doing? We're just splitting it down the line? Like
Absolutely.
no one thinks these things through. They just make grand statements of what they think sounds good at the time, and they don't flesh it out. And that's why everyone's so damn confused, and they don't know what the hell's supposed to be happening or what's actually functional. And that's why you got this woman spinning around in circles, changing her phone number. She's probably arranging plastic surgery because the woman knows what she looks like and she's scared. She got to change her nose and her chin so the woman can't recognize her no more. I don't know, man. Like...
That's a bit much.
Hell no. Too much maneuvering for one chick.
Right?
Okay.
I might be over exaggerating a tad, but y'all understand my point.
It's unfortunate that this is going in this direction, and either one, he can't be a true friend and even reach out, as was mentioned earlier, to say, hey, don't do my girl like that, even to the guy, that ain't cool, if you're going to do your thing, do it someplace, don't do my friend like that. Or even for him to step up and be, hey, I'm interested in you, don't like you see you going through this, come on, you can do better. I can be that person if you want me to be there. Because she got to make a decision too. There's a decision to be made, right? And that's putting your big girl panties on. That's not sitting back and changing phone numbers. That's not that. That is not what that is.
Nope. And I'm not sure, again, where is her support system that she's tapping into on one side, I understand on one side there's a problematic issue within the community where, we got toxic people in our friendship circles and in our families. So when we go to them for advice, they are, they're not trying to help us. They're trying to hinder us, because hurt people and misery loves company. I get that. Right. So I do get that some people, they kind of want to keep things to themselves or whatever. But like, does she not have a few trusted friends or, trusted people in her circle somewhere that can support and advise her? Because it seems like she's just kind of making reactionary decisions based on what everyone else is doing. And she hasn't talked this through with anyone and made decisions of her own. You know what I mean?
But yes, but something, we've had, Char's had one of those types of stories already where sometimes the friends aren't listening, no matter what we say, and I remember sharing about what I had to share with my friend. And I remember that. She still chooses and even till this day chooses to be with that individual. Yeah, we've had that conversation. No matter what, we can be the most, okay, girl, look, okay, she calling you. Why you changing? Don't change your number, just block her. Okay, so now, these phones are so fancy now that not only will they block the person's calls, but they'll block their texts as well. So you can just block her. You don't have to deal with this. And even if she's calling your home phone, there's a way you can do that. You don't have to deal with that. You do not. And so that's not an excuse anymore. That, oh, she keep calling my phone because that's what I dealt with back in 1949. You couldn't block anybody. You could take the phone off the hook, but then you missing all your calls,
Right. That's true.
We're no longer there. We're not in that era anymore. So why sit here and try to, figure this out? There's nothing to figure out. You know what you need to do. You know how to do it. Now it's just a point of you acting on that. And there's no, and as a friend, and if I tell you, what, friend, you know what? I don't even like to see you like this. I don't want to see you like this. I don't want to see you have to deal with a situation like this. This is what we can do. This is what you should do. Or why not consider this? Or, what are your thoughts? What's your plan? You still
Mm.
inviting him over? Okay. You still accepting the call? Okay. You still want to be with him? Okay. You're still going to listen to her call or accept her calls? Okay. Nothing we can do about that. No matter what. A friend
Mm.
of 22 years is still accepting this. So no, you know, it's only so much that a friend can say and that a friend can do.
But see, now I have a question. So I have a question.
Sure.
Let's say, right? Let's shift the story a little bit, right? So
Okay.
let's say
Okay.
instead of the fact that there's some pregnant woman in the wings, let's say there's a baby mom's in the wings. She did not know that this man had children originally. He might even have lied about it originally. But then she finds out there is a baby. Now, all of the other parts of the story are the same, but this is not like a pregnant woman we're talking about now. Now there's actually like hey, no, they clearly broke up at least a little while ago because the baby's been born and has lived for a while. A, right, and B, you don't have pregnancy hormones to blame the behavior on, right? Because she's not pregnant anymore. So you can't be like, well, maybe she's just acting like a batshit crazy chick because pregnancy hormones just make you super insane, right? No, this is
Okay.
how it's going to be. This woman, because here's the thing, right now during the pregnancy, because I don't think she's thinking this through entirely, right now during the pregnancy you can almost kind of get away with it, almost pretending it doesn't exist because there's no baby yet, right? But once there is a baby, now he's a father. He's got to go pick that kid up. They've got to make joint decisions. They're going to be doing joint whatever, doctor's appointments or whatever for this kid, right? So this woman is now going to be a regular factor in this man's life because the baby, not grown child, baby is going to be a regular factor in his life. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
what do you think it changes the scenario a little bit if we make this a already born baby?
Nope, it doesn't change the fact that you got to know whether or not you want to be there. And if you're going to be there, you have to accept that. There's no, I don't care if the baby 2 months, 2 years, 12 years, no matter. You have to make the understanding because the decision still lies with me. Once I find out,
Mm-hmm.
now that because you lied, you didn't tell me in the beginning. So that's one strike against you. Now, I have to make the decision on whether or not I want to be bothered with you and the 2 month old, a 2 year old, a
Or the
12 year
8 month
old.
pregnant baby
I
mama.
have to make that decision that since we've been together for the past 4 or 6 months, whether or not I want to be bothered with that. And most
Mm.
oftentimes, I'm going to tell you that I'm not interested in helping you raise a for sure a 2 month old.
Mm.
The 2 year old. Now the 12-year-old, maybe, depending on how sassy that mouth is. And yeah, I'm gonna let her come over. And if she talking crazy, but the decision is still upon me, whether or not
Mm-hmm.
I want to be there. You done
Mm.
lied to me already. I'm almost right like side eye, half ass trusting you. You
Mm-hmm.
know, because you lied to me. You didn't tell me. If you would have told me, and that's what Char said, let me make that decision if I want to be with you. Because
Right.
if really, because I love babies. I would have loved to loved on your 2 month old. If that's because if you really want to be here and I want you here, then we can try to make this work. But you're not finna bring no situation to me lying about it. And then they say,
Mm.
oh, by the way, yeah, she pregnant. Oh, now, but you said the kid's already here. Yeah, I gotta go to my daughter's graduate. What? You gotta
Yeah,
go.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Either
I
way,
gotta take that
whether
to the
she's
doctor.
pregnant or
You
whether the child is here, if you didn't tell
gotta-
me, there's a problem.
Mm.
Yes,
Now
yes.
the question is though, because so it's kind of a two-part question, right? A,
Okay.
is the situation any different than a woman initially not telling a man that she has kids? Second of all, though, is how long is it acceptable for you to date a new person without delving into your complicated, I have children with another person, whether you have custody of them or not, especially if you don't have custody of them.
The moment you want a second date with that person, you should really know what's going on in their general life. You don't have to know all the details, but whether they have children or not, you need to know whether they have children or not. Because there are some people who have that rule, i.e. Ruby, you have that rule. You don't date men that have children. So you want him to tell you when it's convenient for him? No, you want to know at the jump.
Right.
You want to know at the jump. Now, you don't have to find out on date number 1, because if there's no date number 2, I don't have to give you my whole biography in date number 1.
Right. Yep. I agree, Vonda, so much, because if we're going to move forward, and that's what I keep saying, it depends on what my status is with you. If I'm ready to move forward with you, date number 2, here are my children, because that's the other side of the coin. Because when you ask, should the woman tell the man? Yes. You can't hide kids. You cannot hide kids.
Yes, you need to let him know.
Yes. You cannot hide children. I gotta go pick up Teresa from praise dance practice. I gotta go pick him up from football practice.
Right?
No, you can't. You cannot hide that. So yes, here's my situation. And it's crazy, because when I was dating with my daughter as a single mother with my oldest only, I was like, I guess I'm gonna have to just take the pick of the litter, because I'm a single mother, and most men don't want a woman with a child already. Well, shoot, after I got divorced, had 3 kids, 2 dogs, 2 hamsters, a gerbil, and a fish. And men was coming out the woodwork, and I'm like, because men, if they want to be with you, they're gonna be with you.
And that's the real truth. Now, that's just what it is.
I'm actually more severe than y'all, because for me that's absolutely not true. You could literally be my dream come true, but if you had kids, it was a non-starter for me. Not doing it.
That's your deal breaker, though.
Yeah, it's my 100% deal breaker. Like, I did a video on it. Do kids equal baggage? And it was a whole video talking about, it was women who have kids talking about how, kids aren't baggage, blah, blah, blah. And, calling men terrible for calling their kids baggage. And I went, well, I call kids baggage, and you're baggage I don't want. I would rather take so many other things. You've been to prison. You're currently wanted for murder. I don't know. There's a lot of things I would take over you have kids. I'm gonna be real. No, true.
Wow. Not prison over the baby.
Yeah, no, true. Yeah, it's true. So with that being said, right, to me, there's a few things I want to know on date number 1. Number 1, whether you have children. Number 2, what is your current marital status, as far as not only are you married now, have you ever been married? And number 3, I obviously will ask, like, what do you do? What do you do with your life? Like, I need to know what you do. And number 4, where do you live? Because I need to know, do you live with your parents? Do you still live with your ex, but in the basement, so you don't think it's weird? Do you live by yourself? Right? Like, or do you have roommates? Right? Because that tells me a lot about you too. I don't really need to know immediately if you rent or own, although if you want to volunteer that information, that's great. But I do need to know those 4 things about someone. So from day 1, because any one of those things might end this relationship in its tracks. So, like, yes, if you have children, dead, just right there. Exactly. Duh. Right out, you heard that extra duh? Yeah. But also, because, like, for example, if you live with your mother, right? And you're a grown-ass man, I'm gonna have an issue with that. But if you add into that, right, that you live with your mom, what do? Well, hey, you've been building your own business, because you used to, I don't know, work in a firm somewhere, but now you've been building your own business. You moved home to save money, so that way you could afford that office space you need regularly, and hopefully purchase a house. And you've got a 18-month game plan, or hey, I'm okay with that, because there's a reason you live at home with your mama, right? Or, like, you know what I mean? So or marital status, right? If you're like, well, I'm not married now.
We're married, but we don't live together.
Yeah, right. Well, well, technically, I've been married 2.5 times. So,
What's
what?
the half? Explain that, because that's what
Right.
it's going to be.
You,
The
you
story's
know,
going to be in that
and,
half.
Mm-hmm.
Ruby, okay, so I guess that's where us Leos, and I guess it comes with age too, maybe. But for me, I don't need know all that. I think Vonda said this earlier. I don't need to know all that on first date. I need to see if there's a connection first. I don't need to know where you live and how you live and what you're doing. I'm good with that. I'm not gonna give you the drill right now because eventually it's gonna come out. I mean, you can tell me what you want to, that I'm just living with my mama to get, she's sick and I'm gonna help it. And now you can sell a point and on the first date at any time. I don't want to hear all that. Let's just enjoy, see if we vibe together. Because I
You know
need to
what?
see if I even wanna entertain you another time. It ain't even got to be about
I feel the same way, Miss Regina, about that first date. My thing is with the first date, I just want to get to know, on the surface level who you are. Do we have a vibe? Can we talk? Can we chill? It's a great atmosphere. If you
right.
don't tell me that first date, whether you have children, I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that. No big deal.
Yep.
Because the whole thing is, if we want a second date, that's when I'm going to want to know, okay, what is this man all about? I want to know more. I want to know more about him.
Yeah.
I want to
But
know
see,
more about him.
you know why though? See, here's the thing though, right? First of all, I'm a Leo too. Thank you very much. Secondly though, let me tell y'all something. So first of all, actually, I am more logical than emotional. So I mean that does play
And I'm
into
more
it.
emotional.
But
I'm more
but
emotional.
the more important factor of this, and this it's the same reason why I won't date someone who has kids, is because I am a very loyal, very dedicated kind of person. So I like when I work for a company, like I mean like just working retail, when I work for a company, I legitimately start feeling and believing in my heart and soul, I'm not lying, that this is the greatest company on earth. These are the greatest clothes on earth. These are the best shoes that were ever made. And I don't lie to myself, and I'm not lying to customers. I legitimately start believing that. That's how I am. I'm a very loyal, dedicated person. So once I invest in something, I invest very quickly and in a very big way.
After the
So
first date? No, but after the first date?
yeah, but
We
see the thing is for me, I'm not investing any form of emotional energy into whether I can bond or connect with you on any level if day 2 you're going to tell me something that makes this a non-starter for me. Why would I do that to myself? So I'm already sitting there thinking like, yo, you know what, maybe this could go somewhere. He's really cool. Okay, that was fun, and now I'm excited to see you the next day and whatever, and oh, you got kids. Well, that sucks, right? I'm not setting myself up. I'm not setting
Okay.
myself up to be in a situation I'm not going to
Right.
be happy with.
Right. Rewind this shit. Char, you need the beep, beep, beep. Back this shit up. We backing this. We backing this truck up. This, we going another further. And I get that. I get that, but I guess because I've experienced, we all got stuff that we have that that could be a deal breaker for anyone. And I get that, trying to know up front, but I just don't believe in the drilling at the beginning, because it may come to it even when I walk
But that's
away.
4 questions. How's that drilling? That's 4 questions. 4.
No, no. I'm not pulling out the questionnaire. That's what it just seems like, and I just won't do it. But I would, even if I need to walk away and say, "Oh, that wasn't it for me," and even if they try to reach it back out, that wasn't meant for me. Thank you so much. Had a good time. It was nice meeting you. Whatever. But
But
Yeah,
that's
I
for grown women,
couldn't do
Miss Regina. That's for grown women. And when you get to a certain age and a certain level of experience, you're like, I'm not about to do this. You know,
No. See, here's the problem. Here's the problem. Because I actually think exactly the opposite way, right? Is that for me, it's a very young thing to base your dating someone on emotion. And the reason why I say this is because of this. I have the experience in my life, right? Right? Just like you have the experience in your life that has shown you that certain things are more important than others. For me, I have the experience in my life that has told me that certain factors within a person is not going to work for me. But I also know that I am the kind of person that is hyper dedicated. So I will dedicate myself to something that actually is quite toxic for me because I've allowed myself to get emotionally invested inside of the idea of someone, inside of the concept of someone, inside of the bond of someone that I'm already building. It's new and it's fresh and whatever. And I am exactly the kind of person who will start making excuses for things that I know won't work for me, that don't
Wow.
work for me. Right. So it's smarter for me to right off the bat, like I'm not sitting there, I don't have like a checklist of, like I said, the only one thing that's a deal breaker, like hell no, is if you have kids. But my reasoning for that is because I'm going to get too attached. So it's the other things, like I said, those things, like, well, it's not like, well, I live at home with my mom, oh well, that's it, you're cut off. No, I want to understand about you, what motivates you, what makes you tick, why do you make the decisions you make. I'm exactly the kind of person that will dedicate my whole life towards taking care of my friends and family. If that's why you're living at home with your mom, I'm cool with that. And that also tells me you're a caretaker. I'm also cool with that. So it's actually telling me things about your character and persona that are important to me too. It depends on what your answers are, right?
It depends on the answers, but you know what? It just all depends on the person and the vibe. My thing is that, if I feel a romantic, attraction, a genuine romantic attraction to a man, I think, okay, that to me is the above and beyond realm of where I could be. But if he ends up being a friend, I take it down a level and be like, you know what? If it doesn't work out in the romantic level, I would still appreciate this person as a friend because you know what? He really is a great dude.
Yeah, or he could be, or he has potential to be a great dude.
Exactly, until I get to know him better. So I can take it further. So I try to give myself, a range. I don't, it's not just only hearts and stars in my eyes. I'm like, okay, well, if it's not always the hearts and stars, I mean, you know what? I did genuinely like him as a person. So maybe he can end up being a hella good friend.
Right, exactly. And that's what I tell them. If every from up front, from the giddy up, I tell them, even if nothing comes from this but a friendship, I'm okay with that. And see, and then the other thing, Ruby, and I get what you're saying. Trust me, I understand. And the investment and all the time and all of that and the connection and I don't want to be in there. But here's what I know that I have. Because I will not, once I see that this isn't going any further, and especially if the commitment isn't reciprocal, guess what I'm gonna do? I got the gift of goodbye. Now that's one thing I do have. I can cut you off and cut you off, and you would be, and it was.
See, you know what's funny? Now, DeAndre, I have been told that I have a very male pattern brain when it comes to some things, and DeAndre agrees with me, which tells me this is probably part of my male pattern brain thinking, right? Whereas because again, like I wish that, well, actually, no, I don't, because, I remember the beginning of having a period and how it was a basket case emotionally, and I'd prefer not to ever go back to that. But, I do wish to some extent that, maybe I could let emotionality guide me a little bit more. But to me, it's just more the logical intuition of things. It's just what it comes down to for me, because I can see a lot of relationships too. That's just in my experience, right? A lot of relationships that end, right? So people, but they invested first. They got married, they had children, and blah blah, and then they end. They often end for reasons and things that were present at the beginning and were a problem at the beginning, but were brushed off and overlooked because of other great qualities this person had. But you knew that these were things that you could not deal with, or that, you know, were a problem, but they weren't going to go anywhere. But you decided, well, hey, he has other great qualities, so I'm going to follow those instead. But what ends up invariably ending the relationship is often those things. And so, you know, for me, it was important to determine, now, what are the important things? Because those 4 questions, I mean, there's a billion other factors about life, about character, about personality, about whatever that you find out along the way, right? These are just 4 little questions out of a million possible questions that you're going to talk to each other about throughout the night, right? So I'm like, to me, 4 things, it's not that much. It's not really that, it's not even really setting a standard at that point, because there aren't set answers except for no, I have no children, that you have to give. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't know, but like, for me, that's what it comes down to. I don't want to, because I have invested years, because I'm also serial monogamous. I will, if I start dating someone, I'm dating them for like a year minimum, normally like 4 years. So I don't want to invest 4 years with somebody because I start seeing all your other great qualities and characteristics. So I decide to take this thing that I know is going to be an issue and decide it's not going to be an issue because of all your other great qualities and characteristics. But eventually we get 4 years down the road and then you go, no, remember, I don't want kids ever. And no, that hasn't changed. Why did I invest 4 years with someone I knew didn't want kids when I know all I want is kids? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, well, why would I do that? It's just like setting yourself up to be devastated later.
Yes, gotcha.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Right. You're right. It makes sense. And I hope you guys tune in tomorrow. We're going to have article reaction at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And thank you for all those that contributed to the channel. Thank you for your support. And you guys that came and enjoyed the conversation and joined in. I do appreciate you all. Thank you so much. And those in the chat room, even the ones that are twerking, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Even the ones. Not calling no names. Yeah.
You know who you are.
Not you, Don.
See?
We don't mean you two.
And I hope you guys have a good night and hope to see you tomorrow.
Okay, you as well. Good night.
Thanks for having
me, ladies.
Yes, it was a great conversation, y'all.
It was wonderful. I loved it.
Thank you. Peace.
All right, cheers, y'all.
Peace out.
Hey, folks, it's your nighttime, it's your right time DJ Music. Make sure you join Char each and every Saturday, 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central, for article reaction, right here on your local YouTube channel. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe to Article Reaction.